Is this heaven?
No, it's a podcast. Welcome to the Field of Geeks podcast.
Hello and welcome to Field of Geeks 178. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Megan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Yes, not too bad at all. Holidays are in full effect. Getting colder out there. Yeah, we just had Halloween. That was a fun episode we did. Sorry, Bill, you weren't on it, but you were there in spirit. Let's say big shout out to Jonah. Jonah gave us a nice drink recommendation during that show, and I put that clip out there on its own. I've been wanting to try it.
I'm gonna have to try that myself.
Man, he is like pretty good connoisseur of, drink making. So definitely like getting his recommendations, if you will. But I think he's got quite a nice bar, so I'm a little limited with mine. But if you're into drinking, that is. If not, hey, pop's always good. Nice little tea. Yep. But yeah, it was a fun episode. Steve's commercial, very very dark, but it was fun to do. Bill, quickly share. You were the Joker, huh, for Halloween?
I was, yes. So Estella, my daughter, she wanted to go as Harley Quinn, and when we went, just real quick here, when we went costume shopping, the Harley Quinn costumes for kids were like cheaply made, and they were like $50.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So I kind of piecemealed hers together with like stuff that I thought Harley would wear.
Sure.
And then her mom did her makeup and everything like that. So that turned out really good. And then originally she wanted me to do kind of more of a Joaquin Phoenix type.
Okay. Yeah.
Makeup for Joker.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not that talented with putting on my own makeup. So you think my years of going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show would have helped me with that. But I think it turned out good. I dyed my hair green for it, and I got a lot of compliments. There was the neighborhood that I take her to every year. There's a lot of people that were excited that I dressed up with her.
That's cool.
And that we did like a theme kind of thing. So I got my own candy too. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. And you went as
Herman Munster.
Herman Munster. That's
Which Frankenstein, you could do that too. But yeah, my wife and I both dressed up. We usually don't. Well, we have kind of before, but not this much into it like this year was. But it was my oldest daughter's probably last time trick-or-treating. Of course, she can still wear costumes and come with us, but it's just going to be weird when she's 14, I think, to go up and get candy. Yeah, it was fun. We went all out. Mine was just a mask, but I still had to put like eye makeup on. So that was kind of fun. I felt like it was like an actor, getting prepped. And of course, I sweat a lot, so my makeup was coming off. But that damn eyeliner, my wife put waterproof eyeliner on me, and it took like 2 days to get it off. My kids would just laugh at me.
That's what I was worried about, because I used just like the cheap makeup, the little makeup kits that you get from, Party City or whatever.
Yeah.
I think altogether between me and Estella's costumes, I spent $50. Mm-hmm. But that was like from getting a suit jacket from like Goodwill and getting the makeup and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I was happy with it. Luckily, everything came out okay. My hair is not permanently neon green. So that's good. There was one guy that went just all out, and my God, he had just an awesome setup. It was like he has like one of those huge like staircases going up to his house.
Yeah.
Like the cement staircases.
Mm-hmm.
And at the top of it, he had like a throne, like a bone throne kind of thing.
Wow.
And he was sitting there as a skeleton, like Grim Reaper kind of thing. And we thought like, that's just decation or whatever. And you go to reach for the candy, and he's like, raw.
Oh.
So, and he had like zombies crawling out of his yard. And
oh my God. Did your daughter freak out?
Awesome. She did. She was a little scared about that.
Yeah. Mine would be terrified.
She's a little more desensitized because she's watched me record Resident Evil.
Yeah, of course, that helps.
So
yeah.
She got done with it, and of course she was like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad." I'm like, "Whatever, you were clinging on to me the entire time."
Oh, that's fun. I regret not dressing up enough when my kids were growing up. So, I've got a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old next, and I hopefully every year find something, especially if I get in better shape. My wife and I could hardly find anything to fit us at the costume shops. And so we were just like, first we were like, they need to have a plus size, store for costumes, because I think they would, make some good profit off that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then second, we were like, we'll just lose weight and we can just shop like everyone else next year. Megan, did you happen to dress up at all or do anything?
No, we did not dress up. We just, we didn't even hand out candy. We left it on the front porch.
Yeah, we did too. You did too as we left, yeah. What were your kids dressed as?
My youngest is 1, so we don't do that until, they're a little bit older and they
Sure.
can kind of understand what it is.
Yeah.
They can actively participate. But my daughter went as Pikachu.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
And speaking of Halloween, kind of related to it, Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out next week, finally, after all this time. Super excited, as well as all of you, I'm sure.
Very much.
We're going to take all the kids to see it, because this is one of those movies, like, it's definitely worth taking the whole family to. I'm just so happy we're going to get the classic characters back, like we wanted, back in 2016. That was just such a wasted opportunity. Did you guys ever see the 2016 remake of Ghostbusters?
I didn't. I have it for free, and I still haven't watched it.
Is that because the original is the original, and you don't? Are you in the same boat as me?
Yeah.
Because
it was a wasted opportunity. If they would have rebooted it, like had a continuation, then I think it would have been more acceptable. I think it's a bunch of shit that, people say, even the cast of that film, like, people don't want Ghostbusters to be girls. I think that's BS, because that wasn't really the problem. The problem was they were remaking Ghostbusters, but they were doing it like in a sloppy, impromptu way, and it just wasn't as good as the original. It was just a wasted opportunity.
And I think a lot of people heard that too.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, because that was the comments from a lot of people. And so I think that's why, we're getting this version. I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't know when they decided to go this route, but I do remember that being like, a common theme. Why couldn't you just carry it on, the next generation down? So. Yeah,
well, it's because the director had an ego, and he was like, I'm just going to redo it myself. And the studio was like, okay.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I mean, what I've seen of it is just like, it's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Pretty much, yeah. It's very Second City based, they improv a lot of the script. Yeah, there's moments. I took my daughter to see it, and yes, there's moments that are enjoyable. There's cool characters. Holtzman is a character kind of like Egon. She stands out a lot, played by Kate McKinnon, and my daughter actually was her for Halloween. That figure you can't really find anywhere unless you're going to pay a lot of money for. But that was really the highlight of that whole movie, was that character. It's like, if you take that character out and make her like Egon's daughter or something, very cool. Again, wasted opportunity. But thankfully, Afterlife, I think, is going to course correct dramatically and give us what we want. Of course, you'll have critics of who like the other one say, oh, this, the last one was better or whatever, and should have just honored it. But I think that was just kind of a sloppy way to take the Ghostbusters name and do your own thing. It wasn't really. It's so much better to carry on what was established, because what was established is so iconic, and I really am digging everything I see this film. I'm trying to keep away from. They're releasing clips now, and I'm like, I want to see the clips, but I don't want to have anything spoiled,
They brought back the demon dog.
Yeah. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, they're going back for the first one, but it's all connected, because the town and the mine they spoke of in the first one, that's where they're at. So, of course, it has to connect to the first one like that. I think that's really a genius way to do it. I hope it's going to be great. I'm pretty sure it's definitely going to be better than the 2016. I'm very excited. Love the cast. I think, and it's really special that Jason Reitman is directing it, who's the son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the first 2 Ghostbusters.
Do you think they're going to have a cool theme song?
I think they have released their take on the Ghostbusters theme. It's,
Really?
a little newer version of it. But aside from that, I don't know if they'll have their own theme. But I'm sure it'll be good. There's so much pressure, I think they're going to really try to honor what was already established and just put a little new spin on it. They had Bobby Brown for Ghostbusters 2. I don't know if you remember that. That was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I do, yep.
Because Ray Parker Jr. got sued for the original Ghostbusters. I think he got sued by Huey Lewis in the News. It was basically kind of a ripoff of I Want a New Drug. And that actually made Huey Lewis interested. I guess he was approached to do the Ghostbusters theme originally, and he turned it down. And so when this all happened, he got the idea like, yeah, maybe I should do soundtracks. And he did Back to the Future. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. So he sued over the Ghostbusters theme and then decided I'll work with the Back to the Future people. And
You want to hear a fun fact?
yeah,
I've actually seen Huey Lewis in the News.
really good in person.
Yep, at Prairie Meadows.
Wow.
Because that's what happens when they get old and they go to casinos.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. They got good
But
food,
It was everything that I wanted it to be. Full band. I mean, saxophone, everything. I
love it.
that.
Love it.
Such Phil Collins vibes, and I never got to see Phil Collins live.
Right.
So.
And yeah, he's the Genesis is performing now, but it's he's like sitting down because he's really
So old.
It's too bad. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's got some issues. And even Huey Lewis has some issues, I think, too. I think his voice might be going or something, I've heard. Yeah, so Ghostbusters Afterlife, the final trailer was released. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you got a little reunion glimpse at the end of it. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. They cut Ernie Hudson out a little bit, of course. They always fucking do that with him. That's because he wasn't Eddie Murphy. Big history on that. Eddie Murphy was going to be the original Ghostbuster. Ernie Hudson took over. And they cut like a lot of his lines because he wasn't like the big comedy genius Eddie Murphy was. So another fun fact there.
I still don't think I could have seen Eddie Murphy in that role.
I don't know. It would have been a totally different film because he would have had more lines. Probably. And yeah, they would have been.
I think it worked having Bill Murray as the comic relief. I think Eddie Murphy would have just chewed the scenery way too much.
Yeah, and that was the issue with 2016. They all were goofy. There was really no straight person. There kind of was in Kristen Wiig, but she was goofy too. And the originals, you had a balance. Like Ray and Egon were nerds, basically. Venkman was this anti-nerd, smartass, and he kind of just like pushed them to do things, and use their brains to capitalize on, success and stuff.
Straight, everyday, Joe looking for a job kind of thing.
Right, yeah, because Ghostbusters is, it plays as comedy, but it also plays as like kind of a horror film, especially that beginning. Like that's some pretty intense stuff. And this will be hopefully it'll capture that same essence with a modern day feel, of course. But yeah, I'm loving everything. The merchandise, there's toys out there now. Ecto Cooler isn't coming to store shelves from what I hear, but they're going to have these promotional events. I doubt we'll get one here in Iowa, maybe, but that's when they'll have it.
I have a recipe for it that I've never tried.
We got to get a lab and we'll get a camera and we'll make some.
Oh, man, we need to make it look like an episode of Breaking Bad. Like we need to have. Like
I'll shave my head, grow a goatee. Yes. Yep.
There we go.
Yep. Lab coats.
My hair, so no.
You always look smart with lab coats and glasses. Yes. Yes. We'll do that. Steve will be the teacher. He'll be the mentor figure.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll have to do that because, damn, I was really... 2016, they released a whole shit ton, and now it's gone. So I just put a pipeline to my house.
Exactly.
Ecto Cooler. Here we go. I'm like diabetic.
This is a total segue here, but have you ever seen the movie Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler?
Yes. Fruit Punch.
Where he has the water fountain in his bedroom that has Hawaiian Punch. If I ever get rich enough, I'm going to have one of those with Ecto Cooler in it. I don't care how much money it costs. That's
it, man. You get creative. You get creative with your money. That's what I would do. Yep. Yeah. I'd replicate some cool sets from movies for my house. And that's what I would do.
Exactly.
Once I win the lottery, whenever I decide I'm going to win it, I'll just plan, I guess, that time. Just to let everyone else know out there, AMC is going to have this cool popcorn holder that's the Ecto-1, basically, opens from the top. It's $35, and they're going to sell fast because a friend of mine works in the theater, AMC Theater, and he said like they only have, I think he said they have 30 maybe on hand or 80. Maybe he said 80, but he said some people already want 3 of them. So if you have an AMC Theater near you, go out next week, right when it premieres, get your damn Ecto-1 if you want it. Because you could just use it at home for anything, really. You can put pens in it or put your movies in it, put your Ghostbuster films in it. I don't know.
I could see like somebody getting one of those and then like years down the road try to sell it on eBay or something.
True.
Making a mint on
True.
it.
Yeah, that is true. I might try to get one. I might let people know.
I would probably just preserve it, and then like if I ever happen to be at a Comic-Con where one of the actors is there, I'll have them sign it.
Here you go. Getting on to other things. A lot of news broke yesterday. We had Disney Plus Day. Of course, this is Saturday. We're recording. Disney, Marvel, of course, just took a big dump of on us. All their, to put it mildly, I guess, and immaturely. We got X-Men news, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Spider-Man, Marvel, zombies, Secret Invasion. I mean, it just goes on and on. Of course, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you guys want to start?
My biggest excitement of this whole thing is that X-Men 97 is coming back. Or the animated series is being continued finally.
Yes.
And it's going to have the same team for the most part involved.
Damn right.
I think the only difference will be some of the voice actors.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they pretty much got all the voice actors back.
Right.
I hope they go back to kind of the better animation quality they had in like the first few seasons.
Oh, right. You got a little cheaper towards the end.
The last season they had a lot of budget cuts and everything like that, and it just looked way too cartoony. The first few seasons looked like a motion comic book almost.
Oh yeah, you could remaster those now. They look breathtakingly beautiful. I mean, colors were great, and it ran 5 years. Isn't that nuts? 92 to 97, that original series.
That was crazy for a kids show back then too.
Right. Yeah.
I think the only one that surpassed them was the Batman animated series. I'm excited because the animated series left on a big cliffhanger with Charles Xavier being taken aboard a Shi'ar ship, and because he was dying from some terminal illness, and it kind of left Magneto in charge of the X-Men. So
wow,
I think that would be very cool to see, and it's going to be set back in the 90s, so they're not going to be able to solve every problem with smartphones.
Right. Oh, that's genius. Even though they did have kind of futuristic tech.
They did.
A little bit.
Yeah, they did have some futuristic tech with like the Blackbird and stuff like that, but
not like our phones and stuff. Yeah, that's good.
Well, and the animated series too, they tackled a lot of for a kids show, they tackled a lot of adult issues. Like
they did.
They tackled racism, they tackled religion, they tackled pandemics. I mean,
right.
They tackled a whole bunch of stuff in that.
Very relatable.
That's what was so cool about it, is it wasn't just a kids show where everything's wrapped up in a neat little bow by the end of it. You feel some actual consequences with it.
Right, just like Batman. Those are both powerful shows. They really had a lot of realism there, and After Effects wasn't just brainless cartoon that sold toys. I mean, maybe later on they got that way because that's how it goes usually. You said the budgets got cut, and Batman changed it up a few times. You got into Justice League and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, this cartoon, this X-Men cartoon, was my first introduction to the X-Men, and I got it through Pizza Hut. If you bought certain combo, you got a X-Men tape. And so that was my first introduction. Yep. That was a great memory. I still have the tapes.
I do too.
Wonderful memory.
Locked away somewhere. But
why these places don't do that anymore? I don't understand. Maybe they just didn't really get much money for it. But man, the cross promotions.
Even the Book It program they had.
Right.
Because they had that when I was a kid, and I got Land Before Time, those little plastic puppet things.
Right.
So yeah, it'd be cool if somebody did something like that.
Episode 1, you got those cups. Those were cool.
Yes.
What happened, Pizza Hut? Come on.
Wow.
Damn you. And
things happen, but that's a whole other
that's true. Yeah, that's a whole other show. But Sega Genesis game, that was huge. That introduced me to Sega, really. My friend had it.
Well, and I think what worked so good too is that they released it right around the time of the X-Men's kind of revival.
That's perfect. Yeah, perfect timing.
Because in the 90s is when Jim Lee took over. He really put the X-Men back on the map. Yeah. For the most part. They've done other animated series with the X-Men, but I don't think it's ever touched the 90s series.
No, it hasn't. No, I mean, the 2000, was it X-Men Evolution? It was after the film.
Evolution was good, but they tried to do it too much like the film. I think
wasn't the same. Yeah. I get they had to try it.
As many consequences, their actions and stuff. So.
Right. Absolutely.
Lots of animated stuff coming out though.
No shit.
Almost everything they announced yesterday for Marvel was animated.
Yeah.
Got I Am Groot. I don't know what that.
No idea.
That's probably gonna be a little more kid friendly, I think.
You'll have to have supporting characters, won't he?
Yeah. I mean, you can't just have an entire episode of him going, I am Groot. I'll get old really quick.
How funny would that be, though?
That would be hilarious.
Oh, potheads would love that show.
Oh, man.
Seth Rogen would love that show.
Oh, my God. Like in Ralph Breaks the Internet, where they're doing the Q&A with Groot. He's like, I am Groot. That'd just be hilarious if an entire show was like that.
Yeah.
And not have Rocket there to translate.
Right. Rocket's off planet. A Spider-Man freshman year. That's cool.
Yes. That's going to be pretty cool, too, I think. Going to be kind of like a Spider-Man year one, almost.
Yeah, we'll get to meet Uncle Ben, right? Hopefully.
Yeah. I hope they do it justice, because there really hasn't been a decent Spider-Man animated series in a long time.
Yeah, I remember the CG... Was it? It was after the first Raimi Spider-Man film. Wasn't MTV had it? I think. And
yeah, it was like with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
And what's his name from 90210? That does the Sharknado films.
Oh, Ivan Ziering.
Yeah,
Ivan.
And Ziering.
Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes, that guy. 90210.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Marvel Zombies is another one that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
If they do an adaptation from the comics, that would be awesome.
Yeah, do you think they'll, because it's kind of up in the air, like they don't know if they'll kind of go off of how they were introduced with the What If, or just do their own thing?
I don't know. I'm hoping they do their own thing, because granted, there's a lot of characters that they now own, so they could really do it justice, but there's a lot of them they don't. Like, I don't think they own Punisher or...
oh, right. Well, I think they do now, don't they? That was Fox.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, because they did the TV series, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, that's right, because they took over the Netflix properties, and I think they probably did it from that. Anyway. I think that would be good if they would have to really incorporate a lot of the X-Men characters and stuff, too, because Magneto, Wolverine, Deadpool even all have big parts in the
they probably
comics, so
they probably don't want to touch any of that until the MCU introduces them. I'm imagining, or
probably
one of the live action shows. Not sure.
What I'm worried about is that it's going to be a spin-off from What If, and if it is, then I'm just going to be like, okay.
Yeah. True. But, because it's based off an 2005 comic written by Robert Kirkman, The Walking Dead fame. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it goes in a lot more depth. That would be a wasted opportunity.
It would be cool if they included Kirkman in with it.
That would be really cool.
Give it a darker feel, like a Marvel Knights kind of feel. Would be cool.
For sure.
House of Harkness, like Agatha House of Harkness, I think.
Yeah.
One of them.
That's cool.
Didn't really get too much. There's a lot of them we didn't really get too much information on.
Right.
I'm thinking that's probably going to be more of a prequel kind of series.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do too much. Like, I wonder if it'll just be like 4 episodes or something. I don't know.
Well, she's currently kind of lobotomized by Wanda, so
right.
I don't know if she's like going to get her powers back, or maybe tie her in with Dormammu or something. I don't know.
I mean, that character exists in the comics, so yeah, there's a lot more storylines they could explore, like prior to the WandaVision events, I imagine, or how she gets out of the WandaVision trance, if you will. Yeah, I love the actress. I think she's great. Catherine Hahn, is that how you say her name?
Yep.
Yeah, she's good. She's really good.
She did awesome as Agatha Harkness. I thought she was perfect for it.
I loved how she just played into the first 2 episodes really strong, how she was fake, and embodying that character trait that those old shows had, for the buddy or the neighbor, really was crafty with her approach to that. Secret Invasion is another one. I'm excited about that. That looks, well, you saw Nick Fury's new look, right?
Yeah, you saw a couple brief glimpses of it. You saw Nick Fury's new look, and then you saw somebody getting out of the limousine with green skin.
Yes. Well, that was She-Hulk. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think they matched the clips, unless she could be in Secret Invasion, but I think that was She-Hulk, which was another thing they announced. But yeah, Nick Fury looks like he has a robotic eye now. I don't know. His eye was like glowing blue. So I'm like, what's that all about? Yeah. Last time we saw him, he was kind of rejuvenated. It was at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. He was on a scroll ship, wasn't he? Just taking in the fake sun, the fake beach holodeck atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, so we got a little glimpse at Ms. Marvel, which,
yeah. I mean,
I'm not a big fan of Kamala Khan.
Don't know too much about her, yeah.
That might just be from the Avengers game because she's super annoying in that.
Was she?
She's like the ultimate fangirl, pretty much. And then she gets superpowers and she's even worse.
Right, and I did watch the movie, like the Avengers game movie of her getting the powers and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not too familiar. I wonder if hers is going to be more kid-centric, but I think she's going to be included in the Marvels movie, which is going to have Captain Marvel, and then the other two.
Maria Rambeau is going to be part of it. And so I can see them putting Kamala Khan in that too. But yeah, what did you think of the She-Hulk trailer? I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like there's fourth wall breaking. They had the 70s retro of Jennifer Walters and Bruce, like they're decked out in 70s attire, and she said the classic Bill Bixby line, "Don't make me angry." He looked like a total geek in that picture. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, it looks like he kind of helped her. It looks like a lot of her origin is in that 5 years, that gap maybe, because it looks like she's a child and he's working with her as Banner Hulk. We got, Professor Hulk, if you will. So he's like, because I think in the comics, I think she's a relative of his, and through a blood transfusion, she gets Hulk-like powers, but she still stays like the same mass. Like she doesn't get bigger, but her skin is green and she's very strong. Like she has all the she has the green skin and the strength, but otherwise she's like functioning human being, and she's a lawyer. So I don't know. We've only seen glimpses of it. I mean, it looks cool. They're gonna have Tim Roth in it. He was the Abomination. I'm glad they're bringing him back, working with him. He was in Shang-Chi, of course, if you saw that one. Very, very brief scene. But I love them bringing back these actors, and they get to do more of these TV shows. Mark Ruffalo, he's in it. I'm really excited about that whole. I hope we get a lot of that interaction, like explanation, if you will. I'm curious if they actually put makeup on her skin or if they CG'd it somehow, because it's so hard to pull that off. I guess they have with other characters recently, but it looks good. I'm excited. I don't know much about the character, so I'm excited to be introduced to her in a way in the show. I don't know if it'll constantly break the fourth wall. I don't know if that's her characteristic, It
kind of looked like more of a commercial kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't really know about that. I'm more interested to see like the explanation of why Banner Hulk gets reverted just to Banner.
Yes.
But there's speculation, take it with a grain of salt. It's the internet. but there's speculation that he, like, in order to give her the blood transfusion, he had to revert back to Bruce Banner.
Okay.
Because the needle for the transfusion wouldn't have pierced the Hulk's skin.
That makes sense. Yep.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. We'll kind of see. There's a long ways to go before we get even the first episode of that, I think.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac. I'm excited to see him in the MCU. He did. I thought he did great as Apocalypse. There's a lot of people who didn't like him.
Yeah, he was the highlight of that film, even though he wasn't probably what people wanted out of Apocalypse, but or the film. Yeah. But yeah, he was. I liked him.
He's a tremendous actor.
Great actor. Yeah,
I think he'll do great with the role. Mark Spector is really kind of a complicated character.
Yes, sounds like it.
He's not just a put on the costume, beat up the bad guys kind of character. He's somebody that almost trances out when there's, I don't want to say evil present, but he's somebody that kind of trances out and has to constantly fight with his like temper of his other side.
Like he's a mercenary that gets wounded and he's healed by an Egyptian deity, and I think that deity during moonlight takes over his body sort of and defeats evil. Is that how it works, kind of, or defends the weak?
Kind of like it's almost like a Ghost Rider kind of thing.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, I love the costume.
So,
from what we've seen.
Oh yeah,
from what we've seen,
costume in the comics has always been one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see another street level hero kind of get their own story. You know, it kind of reminds me of the Netflix MCU.
Right. Which I kind of hope they honor some of that, you know, especially the Daredevil side. I hope we get a Charlie Cox. Yeah. Maybe he'll be in the new Spider-Man film. I'm not sure. That would be perfect, though, as Peter's attorney. Yeah. Like, come on. He doesn't even have to be in the costume. Just have him be the attorney. That's all we need. I think that's all we need. But Ethan Hawke's going to be the villain. I don't think they've really explained what villain he's going to be yet. I mean, this is top notch. You know, these actors. This has to be good. I mean, I hope so. Yeah. It's all about the writing, of course. You know, this phase Marvel's in, I don't think the writing's quite been that great, but the stars have helped, I think, accept, you know, these new stories, and there's a lot of good moments, let's say. But yeah, they're definitely expanding a lot and taking more risks, it seems. And perhaps learning from, you know, missteps as they go, but it's all right. They've been winning for so long, so it's, you know, there's a lot to try.
We're definitely not going to be bored for the next couple of years.
No, there's so much content out there, and you know, whether or not you need to catch these shows to know what's going on in the films, that'll be tested. Yeah, moving into Star Wars, looks like Patty Jenkins, she was going to do a Rogue Squadron, I believe, and that's been put on hold because of her schedule. She's going to do Wonder Woman 3 and I think something else. So I hope we get that film. I think she would really do. I'd really like to see a Top Gun-esque type of Star Wars film. You know, I
would love that.
That would be really cool, and I was excited when she announced it. So I don't know what's going on really. They say scheduling, but you know, why ramp it up and then take it away, you know? So, we'll see. But the plus side is we got a Boba Fett trailer, the Book of Boba Fett. It premieres December 29th. So we'll get Mandalorian Season 3 after, I believe. Or actually, I don't know. Because we got Ahsoka, right? Ashoka and what else is coming out? Obi-Wan. Hayden Christensen's gonna be a busy guy. He's in 2 shows. Isn't that crazy? That's nuts.
I hated that everybody always hated on him.
I just thought he got shitty dialogue, you know. I didn't think he was a bad actor.
No, not at all. He's an awesome actor. And
good.
I think what's interesting too is that they did kind of, I don't know if it's on Disney Plus. I'm sure it's like out there on YouTube or something like that. But they did an interview with Ewan McGregor, and he said like how much he's excited to be back in the Star Wars and back working with Hayden, and to see him in the, like, you know, iconic Darth Vader outfit and everything like that. And one of the comments he made was This time he promises the dialogue's going to be better.
George is like, fuck you.
I never thought the dialogue was all that bad. I really didn't think it was terrible. I mean, there were really good pieces, and I guess there was kind of like but overall, I mean, some of the lines I even say today, I have seen videos where people really harp on the dialogue between the two of them, but I thought it was great. And I will still think it's great.
And that's okay. That's totally fine. You know, there's aspects about the prequels I do like that I even think were better than the recent trilogy we got. At least they had a plan. The recent trilogy just kind of went everywhere because they didn't have a plan, which is a mistake.
Oh, just the ending of that whole series was disappointing.
Oh yeah, it was dumb. It made no sense, and what a fail. Especially when you could have put all the old characters together, at least in that first one, because we didn't know Carrie was going to pass, and it just sucks. A wasted opportunity. You had all those damn actors. You could have, and I would have loved. Finally, when we got to see Luke kick some ass, that was like, that's what we wanted. Damn it, give us what we want.
Yeah. I think they kind of redeemed themselves a little bit with the end of Mandalorian season 2.
Well, these shows in general, they're redeeming themselves, I think, because they get time to expand on things. And yeah, I think we're going to have, if people didn't like Hayden Christensen, I think they're going to like him after this, because I'm sure what they've got cooked up is going to be great. I mean, he's going to be appearing in 2 shows. Now it's going to be really interesting how they show him, because, he's an actor. He's not going to be wanting to be in a suit all the time. So how are we just going to see him in his chamber, and then there'll be like a stunt dude the rest of the time, or like a Tony Stark effect where you see inside his helmet, his perspective? I don't know. That's going to be really interesting.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's actually going to be in the suit.
Right.
Like doing the stunts and stuff like that, unless he's like falling off a building. But I think he's actually going to be the one wielding the lightsaber and swinging it around.
Right, and he did that in the third episode. I just wonder, how to give him more screen time.
I just hope we get more of Rogue One Darth Vader.
Yes,
like where he's actually like choking people and throwing them around and like being a badass, and not just like slowly hitting Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
Exactly. Yeah, and that movie should have ended just like that. Don't show us the CGI Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would have just been a cool moment just to end like that. But that was badass.
But it is, in the same respect, though, it is cool how they can sort of bring people back to life that way.
Right. They haven't quite cracked it, but yeah, I get you.
They did it with Peter Cushing. I mean, they did a decent job with him. I thought the Leia one looked way better. Mm-hmm. Probably because they had more time to work on it.
Perhaps, yeah.
But if you can really perfect that craft without it torpedoing your entire budget, then I think that would work great. But we'll see. I mean, you don't need to bring everybody back from the dead.
No,
for sure.
And the Boba Fett series looks great. I'm excited for that. Just basically expanding upon what we saw at the end of Mandalorian season 2. Looks like he wants to rule with respect, not fear, like Jabba did. So it's really cool to see these old sets he's in, the Jabba's palace and stuff, and the tech used. And yeah, I'm really super excited about the show. I think it's going to be really cool. I don't have a problem with the new armor look. He's older, man. He's been through shit. He just wanted to, redo the armor a little bit. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, but the armor never was like a crisp look. It always was worn out, and he's not really he's not really a Mandalorian. He's just kind of like not an imposter, but it's his dad's suit, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just kind of, just puts it on and kicks ass. So yeah, really excited about that. That looks really cool.
Get into the Rust news.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes, we haven't tackled that, and meant to last episode, but just still don't know everything that's going on. But Bill here is more of a weapons expert, I think, than me and Megan. I don't have a gun or never worked a gun. What are your thoughts on this, Bill? When you first heard this and current.
So, first of all, it very much saddens me for Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, beyond anything, I think he feels tremendous guilt for this whole thing. And I don't think at any point that anybody should be attacking him or canceling him over this or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because unfortunately, accidents do happen.
Yep.
That being said, this very greatly could have been prevented.
Yes.
It's still, it's still ongoing investigation and everything like that. So anything that I say is kind of, could have a different outcome or anything like that.
Right. We don't know all the facts, but just based off what we've heard and think ourselves.
The thing that was ingrained in my head from day one since I joined the Army was treat every weapon like it's loaded. Mm-hmm. Even if you know for sure that it's not. Treat it like it's loaded. Don't point it at anything you don't want to die.
Right.
And unfortunately, this reminded me a lot of the situation with Brandon Lee.
Yes.
Instead of the Crow.
Yeah.
It's a tragic situation for sure. And somebody was at fault. That's very clear. But yeah, I don't think that for one, I don't think Alec Baldwin should be canceled over it, and for two, I think that the court of public opinion, so to speak, should kind of keep to themselves on this one.
Yeah, and stop labeling him as a murderer, like, he killed her. Some people think he, like, intentionally did it. Like, come the fuck on. Like, it's just, whatever your opinion is on the man, he is damaged for life from this. And, of course, that ripple effect happens to everyone who was hurt and probably around that set who saw it happen. And even the armorer who could possibly be at fault because I guess she's been kind of reckless. She was a daughter of a well-known armorer, and I guess she's kind of been a little careless. They had live ammunition and fake ammunition like mixed up, supposedly. The firearm.
That's the biggest thing that I heard.
Yeah,
about that is that they had it mixed together, and that's very, very dangerous.
Just stupid. Like,
I mean, I'm going off of my experiences with handling like a M16 or M4 or whatever you want to call it now. Blank ammunition and live ammunition looks very different. Whether that's the case for what they use in Hollywood for these props or whatever, I don't know. It was like a revolver kind of.
Yeah, it was actually an old revolver that was just used for target practicing before they were shooting those scenes, I guess, that afternoon. Someone was using it for target practicing. So
the point I'm trying to make, I guess, with that, I don't know if the blank ammunition looks different from the live ammunition. I would assume it does, just based on experience. But having them mixed in together, like just poured out on a table or something, that's really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's gross negligence.
Yeah,
right there. You know, and not only that, but I mean, it's going to have lasting effects on Hollywood. I think even Dwayne Johnson has come out and said that in his movie, he's going to not have any real guns whatsoever. Do it with CGI or something like that to simulate the actual firing of the weapons.
Right.
Like, I think this is going to be like the new hot button thing. Like, it's happened way too many times already. Once is already enough, but it's happened like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
On different movies. And it's just something that, safety should always be your number one concern. I don't care who you are or how much experience you have. Like, I don't know. I just got into a habit every time I was handed a weapon to open it up, make sure it's cleared. If it wasn't, I would clear it myself and then I would know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even then I would just habitually check it. Like, all the time, because I didn't want an accident to happen. And there have been accidents that have happened, especially, I know of some myself. Like, when I was deployed, there was a huge accident that happened, and it's affected both people for the rest of their life.
Right. Even if they weren't at fault, like they were just, put in a certain situation that.
Well, and it was a case of 2 people being stupid, but at the same time.
Oh, for your, yeah.
but at the same time, it's, there's people that have had what are called negligent discharges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge, huge no-no in the Army, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it is like you accidentally fire a weapon when you're not intending to.
Oh boy.
But it comes down to a safety thing and to an accountability thing. Like even if you're playing around with a gun and it's not loaded and you point it at somebody's head, you're just being stupid. Like you have to act like that weapon is loaded at all times and that it's dangerous at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it is. It's not it's not a rubber gun.
Right.
They knew they were playing around with a real fucking gun with real bullets.
Right.
I mean, I think the main point is here that the armor was very negligent, just in my opinion. I think Alec Baldwin was putting his trust in somebody that handed him a weapon.
Yep.
And said, it's okay, it's safe. And I don't think that there was at any point any fault on his end.
No.
I personally believe that. And if it comes out different, hey, I'll retract that statement. But
the only thing he could be in trouble with is he's a producer of the film. He's one of the producers. And apparently they cut costs and stuff. And if they, got a little loosey-goosey but I don't think they would have with weaponry,
It's one of those things that if they cut corners and they rushed it and everything like that, then yeah, mistakes are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take your time to do it right, then mistakes are going to happen. But do I think that he was like, hey, there's a live round in here, haha, boom? No, I don't. I don't think that at all.
Well, that's the thing. They were rehearsing, and a lot of people why did he shoot into the camera? Like, well, when you see a movie, that's what they do. That's what actors do.
Yeah. Where do you think the little puffs of smoke and explosions come from? They come from live rounds.
How do you see the gun barrel? Well, he's pointing it at the camera, and she is the cinematographer behind the camera, and they were rehearsing, and so that's what happened. All these people out there are saying he shouldn't have been fooling around and shooting at people. Like, he was doing his job. That's what they were doing. They were trying to get a great shot, and that's what people want to see. That's movie magic.
Exactly.
So I just think a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, I definitely don't know much about weaponry, but movies, like all the cool shit we see, like they have to point shit at the camera. Otherwise, you're not going to see it. You're not going to care. It's just silly.
I hate to tell you guys this, but if you watch Saving Private Ryan, they use both live and blank ammunition in that movie.
Yeah, that's
how they get the effects.
Right. Right.
They can't just CGI that shit in.
No.
I mean, first of all, there's no way to do it, and second of all, there's you have to use some practical effects in movies like this.
Right.
And this isn't like a futuristic movie where he has a little laser gun and goes pew pew.
Yeah.
You have to understand some of the context behind it, and I don't know. I just think canceling the guy's got enough on his mind right now.
He's gonna live that. He's gonna live with that forever.
Leave the guy. Yeah.
Never go away.
Leave the guy alone.
And that kid, that lady, she had a family, and they're gonna suffer from it. And hopefully, I know he's reached out and he's gotten together with them. Like, it's tragic. It's very tragic, and he does not need people pointing fingers at him at this point. And I know it was so stupid. He went trick-or-treating with his kids and he was smiling and people were criticizing him for that. It's like, what do you want? Do you want him just to be emotionless with his kids while they're doing things?
Exactly.
Like, he's a human being.
They don't, his kids probably don't know the full context of what's going on. He's probably trying to put on a brave face for them.
Yeah.
Which is commendable.
But he's going through shit. I mean, that's guaranteed. He's definitely going through things. I mean, it's not.
You do that when you're a parent. You don't.
Absolutely.
There's been times when I've been, personally, when I've been depressed and feeling like shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to act that way in front of my daughter.
Right.
She doesn't need to know that,
Right. And I think he said that he doesn't even know if they'll finish the film. So, because they're still investigating. A lot more crazy shit keeps coming out. I heard there's other scenes, other actors were actually shooting off real guns, not knowing themselves. So there's so much to investigate still. And
there is.
I know he's just the big target because he's pissed people off, of course, with his antics and stuff. But it's just dumb. It's dumb. It's the wrong time to attack. Unfortunately,
it's another case of internet cancel culture.
Yeah,
There's a lot of it.
Yeah,
he's a very vocal guy on Twitter.
Right.
He's been very like anti-gun and gun control, stuff like that. Which that's commendable. If that's the hill he wants to die on, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's intent and there's accident.
Yeah, and he's worked in the industry for what, 35, 40 years maybe, and he said he's never fired a live gun ever. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So that had to be jarring itself.
It's one of those things like, wait for the investigation to finish up.
Right.
If he comes out, a month from now and says, "Yeah, I knew it was loaded," like
yeah,
if he says,
I killed her.
Yeah, it was 100% my fault.
Right.
And I did it with intent.
I hated her.
Then that's one thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know. Too many armchair.
Right. Just let the professionals do their job, and people just need to shut up and just think about what he's going through and the family. Like, there's so many victims. It's a huge ripple effect. This armorer, if she is to blame, that ruins her life, and everyone who knows her family. Yeah.
I want to say this though. I don't know necessarily that there's only one person at fault.
I think it was a lot of factors.
I think it's a combination of factors. Yeah, but I think unfortunately, it's probably going to come down to one person taking the hit for it.
Yeah, unfortunately,
in Hollywood.
Yeah, but just get a good lawyer, because I think everyone's just going to be, like, I'm not taking a hit for this. So
yeah, but
what do you think, Megan, of this whole thing?
So I sort of quit following it because, following Bill's sentiments, it's something they have to still work out, and public opinion will always be public opinion, and you're not going to change those people's ideas. And so I kind of just quit following that, because at this point it's just speculation. But I guess I'll say this. I don't know if it's a mentalist thing or if it's just you grow up in a house with medical professionals, or maybe you have exposures to guns. But I mean, same type of logic applies. When I was growing up, and I don't have, I'm not in the Army. I didn't have anybody that I directly knew that was in the military. But I was always taught from a very young age, you don't touch a gun, and if you happen to see one, you don't point it at anybody, and you definitely don't, even if it's empty, there could be one in the chamber, and so you still don't, you just don't mess with it. And so those were things that were always taught to me from a young age, and so I guess I just thought that was common, but maybe it's not, based off of speculation. Maybe it's just not something that everybody knows. I don't know.
Right.
So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a weapon made to kill, and you got to respect it and be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of common sense that comes with handling any sort of weapon.
Yeah,
I think even if it's a kitchen knife. I mean, you don't point it away from you and like run towards somebody with it. Of course, they're gonna get fucking hurt.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it's just common sense, people.
Yeah, it's going to, the Brandon Lee incident already affected Hollywood with its precautions, and this is going to, I think, just be a new take on using, computer effects and props just to, pull the effect off, and that'll be safe for everyone, and they won't have to worry about that if they can pull it off. If not, then they're going to have to be very, very, they're going to have a group of people check the shit before it's used. It's just going to have to be that way. Yeah. Can never get lazy when it comes to that. That's just, yeah.
No.
It's the world of make believe. You don't want to actually harm people. Like, you have to be careful. And so, this is a wake up call to a lot of people. I mean, if it wouldn't have happened now, it was going to happen sooner or later. It's a tragic thing. And, I really feel bad I feel bad for everyone involved, but yeah, Alec Baldwin gets a lot of the hate and attention, and that's just something he's going to have to, that's going to affect him forever.
Harry Potter, Chris Columbus, he did an article that he was the first director of the first Harry Potter. And if you think about that, if you haven't seen it recently, or if it's ingrained in your memory, you'll see just how magical that first film was, and like all of the things that went into that. He kind of talked about his role that he played in that, how he got the film, and then talked about some of the actors and then why he left after the first film, which I'm kind of glad, and I'm kind of glad that series or franchises do that anyways, so that you can get a new director and you can get a new take based off of each film. I think that's super important. But he definitely was the stepping stone into that universe. If anybody is like a huge fan of the film, you've probably heard some of the things that he's talked about before, as far as the casting of Daniel Radcliffe and how it wasn't originally going to be him. It was set to be Tom, but then when they brought him in and they brought all three of them together, they just really didn't want anybody else. A lot of that was talked about in a special edition DVD that you get with this that kind of breaks down how they made the films and everything that went into that. And so a lot of that stuff is reflected in this article. But he did talk about wanting to come back and direct The Cursed Child, which I think would be great if they did choose to do a film adaptation for that. And if they could get the cast to come back. I don't know what their feelings are on coming back. You get a lot of actors who, when they do stuff when they're younger, and they just kind of move on from that, and they don't want to come back to those roles because they feel like in a way that defines them. So I hope that that's something that gets talked about more, and maybe they can work it out so that can be a film adaptation, because I would like to see those characters come back and reprise their roles.
I could see it happening.
You guys feel about that.
Quick question I have about The Cursed Child. I know it was a play. Is there also a book adaptation of it?
It was a play.
Okay.
Not a book, but it did come out in 2016.
But you could adapt it to a film. It's been done so many times.
I'm in Rent, fan of the opera.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else.
Les Miserables.
Many others. Hairspray.
Freddie Got Fingered.
What concerns me with it is, oh my God. Gosh. You had to mention the worst film ever made.
Sorry. Continue.
Oh God, I just lost my train of thought thinking about the baby and the umbilical cord and all that. Okay. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Okay.
See, there you go.
I do remember J.K. Rowling saying a long time ago, because people wanted more. Because at the end of the final film, you see they're older, they have children of their own. Yep. They're sending them off to Hogwarts for the first time. And so I do remember J.K. Rowling, saying at that time, because people wanted to see what their lives are like as an adult. And she was like, well, I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that? What is it going to be? Harry Potter goes to business school. So I do remember her, saying that, but I don't know a lot about The Cursed Child, and I don't know what it entails. I'll probably have to look that up. So, I mean, I think now, given that it's years later and she's had...
They've all aged, the actors. Yeah,
and time to digest. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't want to bring them back.
Well, a lot of people don't like Fantastic Beasts, right? Like, you as a fan of Harry Potter, you don't care for it, do you?
No.
I didn't, yeah. I haven't seen it.
I've only seen the first one, but it was all right.
The people that I've talked to that are Harry Potter fans were like, no, it's not good. Like it takes away all the magic of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
it really does.
I guess my main thing is, if they do make it into a movie, is J.K. Rowling going to be involved with it?
Oh, because she got canceled.
I don't think she was involved with the play, was she?
The thing that I looked at says that she was.
Oh, okay.
I think I think it's in terms of how big of a role she plays. I think when they say she's involved, I don't think it means that she's heavily involved.
No,
I think
it's probably she's like on hand as a consultant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, no, Snape would have never said that kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I guess the premise of The Cursed Child is kind of cool to me. It's basically like one of Harry Potter's kids and one of Malfoy's kids become friends, and they're both in Slytherin.
Oh.
I don't know. It kind of deals with conflicts with that, but
they'll want to make more, right? They'll want to make a new trilogy. So it's like, how are you going to do that? Because I can't see them being like, okay, one film. They'll do The Hobbit. They'll make 3 films somehow.
Well, and Severus Snape has a role in The Cursed Child, and so how would they do that knowing that Alan Rickman is no longer with us? And that really is just, I couldn't imagine someone else being in that role.
No.
I mean, they did recast Dumbledore, though. So I know Alan Rickman was a bigger caliber actor, I guess, or more presence. But yeah.
That's the thing,
but it was
though.
the first film, and it's hardly noticeable, really.
It really is. And Alan Rickman is such an iconic.
I know.
Like, nobody has that drawl to their voice, and nobody has that presence.
Yeah.
I mean, even Daniel Radcliffe has said that. He's like, I couldn't, when Alan Rickman passed away, he's like, there's never been anybody that I've worked with that had that kind of presence.
Yeah.
Both on and off screen.
Oh, he went to his plays. Like he was.
Oh yeah.
A good person.
They became like good friends.
Yeah.
Throughout the production of it, and I see it more of. Like, if they continue on from The Cursed Child, I see it being more of like a Game of Thrones kind of thing, where the on-screen adaptation outlives the books.
Yeah.
Or, outpaces the books, so that, like, J.K. Rowling's going to come back 3 years later and be like, well, this is what I would have done, and I'm going to write a book to correct it.
And she's actually she's said that before. She has come and said, taken things back based off of how she wrote them. Or she'll say, in her mind, so-and-so was supposed to have a relationship, or there was supposed to be something. I can't remember the exact details. And then years later, she'll come back and be like, oh, no, that's not it. That's not true. So she does walk back a lot of her statements, but she always has.
She does. And I think originally she wanted she either said originally or she would have changed it, that she would have put Harry and Hermione together.
I did remember hearing that, yeah.
Instead of Harry and Ginny, because I'll be honest, like even the Ginny thing seemed kind of shoehorned to me, but she was always kind of in the background, like making goo eyes at him, and then all of a sudden, like they're together, and what the fuck? But no, I mean, I think like if they do the story justice, and they adapt it from the play, but not make it like Cats, where it's just fucking ridiculous, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more Harry Potter. Like, I'd love to see like Harry is like the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher or something. I know he's like an Auror or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I'd kind of like to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I think they're going to need that to revitalize. I mean, they got the 3rd Fantastic Beasts coming out, so maybe that'll be something. I don't know, but I think a lot of people are kind of giving up on that. It just feels like it anyway, and they actually need Harry Potter to come back. What will they do? I see the actors coming back, but will they make a trilogy? Because they want to make the money, or will they just do a standalone film? I think they could just do a standalone film.
I really hope it's a standalone film. It doesn't
put it in 2 parts.
Be a fucking 8-part fucking movie.
Right.
It really doesn't.
Right.
It's a 3-part, like maybe a 2-part movie like they did with Deathly Hallows.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a lot.
Right.
It would be a lot to
they could do that
into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, of course.
Hollywood will do as Hollywood does.
All right, recommendations.
The Witcher season 2, it is coming upon us. We're looking at next month.
Sweet.
So,
yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
You've been waiting for that.
Oh my god.
Ooh, Henry Cavill.
Is it Cavill?
I think it's Cavill.
Whatever.
I don't know. Superman.
He actually addresses that.
My
in
body
several
double.
Interviews. So,
does he?
Nobody gets it right, apparently.
I love the guy because he's such a freaking nerd.
Yeah.
Like, he's a huge gamer, too.
He was a pudgy dude
awesome.
back in the day, too. Like, and he met Russell Crowe when he wanted to get into acting, and God, he's just unbelievable, this career. And I heard there's something going around that his nephew was being picked on or something because he said his uncle was Superman. So he actually took his nephew to school one day.
Yep. Yep, that came from his sister. Yeah.
And he beat the shit out of those kids. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do that, but.
But if you haven't seen season 1, I really feel like you should, because it is worth every episode.
It is.
It's on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Netflix.
I don't watch a lot of Netflix, just mostly because I don't have it right now. But Witcher season 1 as a video game nerd, holy shit, that's a good show.
Pulled it off.
It's very, very, very bingeable too.
Awesome.
You cannot. It's like whatever Lay's potato chips.
Yep.
The slogan used to be, "I dare you to eat just one." I dare you to watch just one episode, not stay up till 2:30 in the morning watching all of them.
December 17th. So,
December 17th. Remember that.
Down, Josh.
It's coming. Yep. I gotta catch up. One of these days, I'm gonna watch it. Promise. I've seen the first episode. I will catch it. Okay, I want to recommend. We just lost Dean Stockwell.
Yes. Oh my God.
Who played Al on Quantum Leap, and what a career.
Yes.
This is weird, okay? The night before he passed, my family and I just happened to watch Quantum Leap for the first time together.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah. And so my wife was like, well, you can't just start it in the middle, because it was like on like some channel. So I said, okay.
Right.
Well, we watched the pilot episode, and that night I was looking up Dean's IMDb, and I found out he was a child star. Never knew that. That blew me away. I was like, oh my God, look at him, little kid.
He's had a very storied career.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Big range as an actor. Like, I knew him in Beverly Hills Cop 2. I watched some of the old Dune just recently. He's in that. I mean, he's been all over the place. Great actor. And him as Al was amazing. Like, that show is that I recommend that show, Quantum Leap. That's my recommendation. Great show. Yeah. Fucking awesome show.
I would say that was my first introduction into him as an actor. And I remember sitting down to watch every single episode every week with my family.
Man. It got you, man. The feels, that music and shit.
It did.
Oh, Jesus.
It did. And there was some episodes that were silly. There were some that were just, just hit you right in the feelings.
Right.
Like, but yeah, he was in Battlestar Galactica. He was...
Yeah, the revised version, right? The early 2000s,
he did
I believe.
All kinds of stuff, man.
Yep. He was in a lot. And him and Bakula shared the screen again on Star Trek Enterprise. So there was an episode he was on with that. And I think they were pretty good friends. Yeah. Bakula said he definitely made him a better person.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess he was an artist and a big family guy. Sad to know all this now. I wish I knew before, but that's what happens.
If you're ever looking for a classic TV show that is leagues above the drama that's on TV now, watch Quantum Leap.
Oh my God.
Especially if you're into sci-fi stuff, because it was, man, even the last episode, and I'm spoiling a little bit here, but Sam could have went home, but he chose to go back, and it was something like he went back to like
tell Al. Tell his because that's what happened. This is a spoiler. Maybe I'll take it out. He was captured in Vietnam, and by the time he got back, they thought he was dead. His wife, or his girlfriend or wife, moved on, right? Or she died. Yeah, maybe she died. I can't remember.
Either way, it was like he went back and he was like, "Hang on, Al's still alive." And that was like his way of repaying Al for all of his sacrifices throughout the years. And I think when Al was like kind of a holographic like guide throughout the series, and he was actually like back home, and Sam's like whole thing was trying to get back home, and I think he even accomplished that a couple times.
Yeah, there was some episodes where they switched. I think there was one episode they switched.
But then like he still had more stuff to do, so he was like, I don't know, Scott. If you ever want to see Scott Bakula at his best, then watch Quantum Leap.
That was our first introduction to him.
Tremendous show.
Yeah, he played Dr. Sam Beckett. He developed time travel, basically, the Quantum Leap effect. Al was his military advisor, I believe. And he was able to, once Sam just decided, I think, just got blown away by the success, I guess, of launching the mechanism, whatever. He jumped into the chamber and vanished, and it goes into the intro music's great. But yeah, he embodies all these historical people. I mean, not even known historical people, but throughout his timeline, he leaps into other people and he basically rights the wrongs. They never really explained if it was like a god controlling his leaps or something else. It kind of lets you decide, I think, in a way, from what my memory. But powerful show.
You hear old guys, and I say old guys kind of laughing because, you know, I'm about to turn 40, but you hear old guys like always saying like, oh, they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
This is one of those shows that will prove that to you.
Oh, yeah.
They don't make shows like this anymore.
No. But there was talks of a revival. Scott Bakula said this himself, and they could do it still.
There was talks of it. It's kind of like one of those things like it'd be nice, but is it needed?
Right.
You know, I don't think it's going to serve the lore of the show or the impact of the show by adding more to it. I think we have just enough.
Right. I think the only way they could do it is maybe if he had a son or a daughter, somebody try to take his place.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do it.
Or like try and find a way to bring him back home, like
right.
Go in after him.
And the effects of the finale, we don't even know if Al would even be in the picture if he was still alive, because that changed his path probably, because you know, I think they said he got married and had lots of kids because he was like a womanizer, but that's because he lost his perfect mate. You know, he never settled
his life, so he was just like, okay, I'm just gonna. I don't know if there's any streaming services currently that are playing it, but if you really,
I think Netflix has it, maybe.
Yeah, Netflix maybe has it.
Just see it. I mean,
I think you can even get the entire series at like Walmart for less than $50.
Do it. Yeah, it's
like,
worth it.
And I don't mean to say that by diminishing how good this series is.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that like. You've heard of like the 1,000 movies you should see before you die. This is a series you should see before you die.
It's good. It's really good.
There's even times where he goes back and he's like, interacts with a historical figure, and he's like, I could do this and prevent World War II, but that's not the reason why he's there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
like
right.
I'm using that as an example, but if you can find some way to watch it, very much do so. And if you have like if you're a younger person and you have a parent that watched it when it was on air, sit down and watch it with them, because it will bring back so much nostalgia for them as well. Yeah,
it was a good show to watch with the family, that's for sure.
Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City.
It is coming out very soon, I believe on the 24th of November. There's a trailer out there. It's going to be more faithful to the video games than the Wes Anderson version, so there's no Mila Jovovich in this.
Damn it!
So thank God. But the settings from the game they show in the trailer looks phenomenal.
Awesome.
It's a Resident Evil fan's wet dream. So
oh, good.
Go check it out. Check it out. Definitely. November's going to be a busy month for me because I'm going to go see Ghostbusters, as we mentioned before.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm definitely going to go see Resident Evil when it comes out. So
awesome.
That would definitely, I definitely recommend that. Also, if you want to get caught up real quick on the Disney Day stuff for Marvel, on Disney Plus, if you have a subscription to it, there's about a 14-minute video under the Marvel section that highlights all of the new stuff that's coming up. So definitely check that out if you want to get caught up on it real quick, fast, and in a hurry and see all the new properties coming out. 515 Gaming, I just finished recording Control. It's been, oh my God, it's been a slog to get through, but I'm hoping to get that edited and out as soon as possible. The next episode of it will be the final episode. I've got about 8 hours of footage to go through, and it's probably going to compress into about a 30-minute video.
Wow.
All said and done. I'm going to be done with that soon. I'm going to be looking forward to doing some more streaming in the future. So Keep an eye on that. Facebook.com/515gaming or YouTube.com and look up 515 Gaming with the parentheses around the 515.
Yes.
More things to come. So,
absolutely.
Yay.
Fantastic, man. That's great. Yeah, I love your channel, and we'll always be happy to share it with people. They need to check that out, and of course, check out fieldofgeeks.com. We're everywhere you can listen to podcasts. We're on YouTube as well. So 515 Gaming, Field of Geeks, a lot of great content there. Keep you busy for a while. So, and more's coming always.
Absolutely.
So, with that said, we'll be back next time. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill. And I'm Megan.
Hey, it sounds just like her. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Bye.